Hey guys, so today's video is going to be fixing this old Digitech pedal. This is an X series chorus pedal. I've had this for probably 10 years. Just never got around to fixing it and figured, hey, why not, let's make a video of how to fix it. So what's wrong with it, you plug it in, you'll see the light will flash. That's the mode it first goes into, because it has the amp simulation. You can hold the pedal down while you plug it in to put it in the amp mode, simulation mode. The pedal will not come on. It don't matter if you got something hooked to it or not. It just will not power on. So it's a bad switch on these, and these are bad about the switch going out. And there's other series as well that have this type of switch. There's a good shot of it. This has a regular little cheap looking switch soldered directly to the circuit board in there. And even if you press directly on the switch, it still does nothing, but you can hear it clicking. There is also one other thing you want to look for on these. If you do this manually with your finger or cord and it comes on, make sure your pedal has this little rubber piece that actually touches the switch. It can break or be missing, so it just sits in there. So always check that first. So we're going to take the pedal completely apart. I had this apart years ago and jumpered the switch over, and it came on and it actually worked. And so I know that's what's wrong with it. All the knobs just pull off. A lot of pedals and amps and stuff will have a nut right here on each one of these, kind of like how it holds the jack on. These do not have that. You got 4 Allen drive screws back here to take apart. So let me get everything started and then we'll look at it. Alright, so you're going to need a couple of tools to take it apart. A 12mm socket fits the nut on the jacks on this. So you need like a wrench, and they're not very tight, so you can even use like an adjustable wrench or even a pair of pliers. So take the nut all the way off, take the washer off as well. Now to get to the back, there's supposed to be 4 screws in this. There is only 2 in this case. A 7/64 Allen wrench fits it perfect. Take this off, so you don't lose nothing. So there's the bottom plate. Then, like I said, make sure you got your knobs off. This whole thing should come right out right here. Get your wire through for the battery. There's your whole circuit board. That's what works the whole pedal. Audio DNA made by Harman. So again, here's a view of that little switch. It's the problem. And you just got 2 little terminals right here to solder in. That's the only thing. All you gotta do is unsolder these 2 pins. See this one right here. This one right here, and I'll show you what to do. You're going to have a soldering gun. I recommend a solder sucker as well. That way when you heat it up, it'll pull all the solder off and you just put your new one in. So let me get the new switches and we'll show you what we got to do to that. So I bought these probably a year ago. And this is you get an assortment of them. They're all the same switch. You just get more than one in case you mess one up or something. I'll put a link in the description if it's still available where I got this from. It was off a seller on eBay, so I'll put a link in the description if I can find it, if it's still available. If not, just look up a switch for Digitech pedals, and it should look something like this. You can also find these in what I would call like a universal for like general electronic work. It should be the exact same thing, probably a fraction of the cost too. But I can't even remember how much these cost now. So get this unsoldered and we'll solder that in. The pedal should be good as new. So I got a soldering gun there. You can also use a soldering iron. It might be actually better for this. I got some solder here just to make sure the tip's hot enough to melt the solder. Good and hot. Get rid of the excess solder on it. This is a solder sucker tool. We'll look at it up close here in a second. Alright, so I got the old switch out. I ended up just holding it on the other side and heating up the post on it and got it to come out. Now you can see where the switch was. Right here. Now we got to heat up this remainder bit of the solder and use this tool here. This is a solder sucker tool. All it does is create suction right here. It sucks up the solder. So I'm going to do this off camera, just get rid of any excess solder and to clear the holes out. Then we'll proceed to put the new switch out. Kind of hard to show on camera, so I just went ahead and did it real quick. Once you get I had to heat the solder up and press the leg of the switch through, and it forced the solder through there. Then you get it all the way through till it fits flush on the circuit board. Then bend the legs off to each side like this, cut them off as close as you can, then just a little dab of solder on there. It does not take very much solder at all for something like this. You really should be using a soldering iron. I just didn't have one handy. Alright, there we go. Try to get a close up on that. And it should work. We can actually test it right now before we actually put it back together. You never know if something's not going to work. Now obviously I'm working on a metal bench here, so you don't want to like set it down. Just make sure that flashes. Alright. And it should come on. Yep, there we go. She's working. Now let's put it back together and make sure that it works then, and it should be good. And it goes back together pretty much the exact same way you took it apart. Get that wire through there first, just so that's out of the way. This also be a good point to mention if these wires are bad about breaking on these. So you can trace your wires out to where it solders in, and it'll be an easy way to change the 9-volt battery hookup out as well. So you feed them wires through there, line up everything. It like kind of snaps in. Now you can put your bottom back on. This only goes one way. It has a notch up here for where the power supply hookup is. And in this case, put your 2 screws in. You should have 4. 2 seems to hold it just fine. I've seen some of these without any screws, and I think they're like glued together or something too. So you don't have to get this very tight at all. Put your washers and nuts back on here. And these do not have to go very tight at all. Just got a little thumb wheel ratchet here. Just barely twist it on like that. This cover just pops on. Press in these pins here. Just do one. Kind of hook it on there and press the other one in. It pops right in. And put your knobs back on it. This is a pretty cool series of pedals Digitech had. I also have a phaser pedal like this. It's got 7 different voices or modes on there, and you can really do a lot with these. So there we go. It's all back together. Let's hook it up again just to verify that it works. There we go. She's working. Alright guys, we'll go ahead and end this video. I'm not going to do a sound sample on. There's plenty of videos on YouTube with sound samples of this. This is just one replacing the switch. Hope I went into enough detail on doing it. So. Alright guys, we'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.